And now let's light the chalice, symbol of our faith. As Carroll lights our chalice, please join me in saying our words of affirmation posted in the Zoom chat box. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve human need. For these high purposes do we unite in worship. And now we invite you all to unmute yourself and share greetings of peace with each other.
Good morning. My name is Carroll Groeger. I was born and raised in Englewood, Colorado, a suburb of Denver. This story today takes me back to high school, when one begins to exert more independence and activities with friends become very important. I was fortunate to grow up in a caring family that went camping, hiking, skating, and skiing together and had assigned chores and expectations that we could depend on one another. Both parents were full-time employed, so we had a certain amount of freedom and responsibility to help each other. I was the eldest of 4, 1 sister and 2 brothers. When I was a junior in high school, my parents came up with this idea that would it not be fun to forego the usual exchange of Christmas gifts with family and friends and skip all the parties. Now, doesn't that sound like a real winner? Instead, we would go to my uncle's cabin from Christmas to New Year's. Well, we all loved Henry's cabin in the summer on Clear Creek at the foot of Berthoud Pass. My father and his brothers had helped to build the cabin in 1936. It was rustic, no running water, an outhouse, a lovely stone working fireplace with built-in side vents for heating, and a small gas stove for cooking in the kitchen. It did, however, have one luxury, and that was electricity. The log walls were from trees that they had harvested from the forest. The chinking was old but adequate. The inside walls were thin plaster, decoratively painted, since all of the guys were artists and painters. It was a lovely place in the summer. In winter, however, you could not drive to the cabin. This meant we would need to ski and snowshoe in from including down sleeping bags and hot water bottles. Well, I knew I had no choice. I was a bit wary of just how fun this was going to be. We kids decided, however, that we would be like the pioneers as we struggled through the deep snow with heavy packs and pulling our small toboggans stacked with our provisions. You did not want to have to dig for anything in the deep snow, so you were very careful not to drop anything. Needless to say, it was below freezing in the cabin and took at least 24 hours of good fire to bring the heat to the place. We had to hike to the spring down the hill to get the water and carefully carry the buckets to the cabin. Well, we quickly learned to conserve water. I must admit, the first 24 hours were rather miserable. Everyone, however, volunteered to wash the dishes in the warm water. The next days became better and better. As it warmed up in the cabin, we sang songs, worked puzzles, knitted, went cross-country skiing, sledding, and we made strings of popcorn and cranberries and peanut butter pine cones with birdseed as ornaments to decorate the small fir tree outside on the porch. It was fun to see the birds enjoy their holiday treat. As a family, we had already decided that the money we saved on gifts would be donated to the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation for research in treatment and a possible cure for this disease. You see, both of my brothers had CF. By the end of the week, we were rested and ready to go back to civilization. We concluded that we had enjoyed being together and had not missed the chaos and the commercialization of Christmas one bit. This became a tradition for many more years and sometimes included friends for a few days. When my children were teens, we made the trek to Colorado and enjoyed the most meaningful Christmas with Gramps and Grandma in the cabin. This experience put me on a new path. Since high school and college, I have been most fortunate to have had the opportunities to travel to countries that are referred to as being underdeveloped, and I have been exposed to true poverty and desperate needs firsthand. It has been my family's tradition to give gifts of chickens and other barnyard animals, bees, mosquito nettings for a family, tuition for a child's education, tools for farming, or supply a clinic and pay for vaccines and doctor care. Enable someone to get surgery so that they can become a productive individual in their lifetime. It is most rewarding to see the reaction of a friend opening their gift of homemade cookies and the card explaining that their gift has been given to someone else. If you want to start a good conversation, give them half a cow. Which half? The front or the back? The left side or the right side? The top or the bottom? Well, I just say I am glad it's not for me to figure out. I feel in this congregation a kindred spirit in the Robert Frost poem, The Road Not Taken. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. I hope intentional giving and sharing has made as much difference in the lives of those receiving the gifts as it has in mine. May the light in my soul honor the light and life in yours. Namaste.